Yay! Hi! Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our virtual Cooking for Wellness class. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Kegris. I am the Program and Outreach Coordinator here at Cancer Support Community, and we have gone virtual. So,
excited.
Yay! So due to coronavirus, we are taking extra precautions during this time, and we are doing virtual classes. So what does that mean? We are doing exactly things like this, providing programming for you at home. That way you are safe, we are safe, and we can work together on this. So we are providing our cooking class tonight. If you would love the recipes, if you would like to participate in any other programming virtually like yoga, maybe a support group, or even individual counseling, feel free to give us a call at 317-257-1505 and we'll get you all set up with that. I'll hand it over to Jodi and she'll cook for you virtually, but hopefully you can answer any questions that anybody might have.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's really fun to be here. It's kind of funny looking out, not seeing you sitting in the chairs, but we're going to pretend you're there and do it just like we always do it. My name's Jodi Smith, and I am a medical nutritionist, and I have been cooking for wellness here for a very long time. So this is really exciting to be able to continue to do it, especially in this time when it's critically important that you build up your immune system. We always talk about the immune system in our cooking classes and how that is our edge. We are able to do so much when we can have a strong and healthy immune system. So today we're going to talk about going green, and everything is kind of around the whole St. Patrick's Day theme of going green, and we're going to make some green things that will actually help you build up and strengthen your immune system. So I'm going to start today with a green dip. And we love dips. I've made lots of different dips for you all. This is a brand new one I've never done before. I'm going to start with an avocado, and remember, avocado is a great source of good fat. So what we're going to try to do is just take this avocado and put it in a blender. You know how I love my blender dips because they're super, super easy. Now, if you're going to the grocery and you can't find toilet paper, I promise you, you can still find things like avocados. You can still find things like limes. Now, lemons have been a little scarce lately, but we're going to add some lime juice to this particular one. And you know, you're going to find that a lot of the fresh things are still there in the stores, even when people are kind of buying all the pre-made stuff. I want you to remember that fresh is always best, and green, especially things that are in the cruciferous family, and just parsley, cilantro, they're all going to help you to really strengthen and build your immune system. So I'm going to just squeeze this lime in here, and most of you notice that I'm using this great squeezer. You just push it right in the lime and it just takes all the wonderful juice out because this is just an organic lime. We don't need a ton of it. I'm also going to add a jalapeno, but notice I've taken all the seeds out, so it's not going to be hot. It's going to be a tad bit spicy like a pepper would be, but not super hot. I'm also going to put in cilantro and parsley, and I've just rough chopped a cup of cilantro and parsley. Get that in there. And then I am adding a couple of cloves of garlic. Now, I can't say enough about garlic and your immune system and what garlic will kill. You know, there's just so much information about garlic and how it will even kill viruses. So I'm not going to tell you for sure you can eat a clove of garlic and it's going to kill coronavirus. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that garlic strengthens your own immune system to be able to fight innumerable different types of bacteria and viruses, and it'll keep vampires away, so you're in good luck. I'm also going to add some walnuts. Now, my walnuts have been soaking in water, so that's where the water comes in when you see that in your recipe. I soak the walnuts because it makes them get the dip really creamy. Remember, again, walnuts are specifically beneficial to fight cancer and heart disease, and they're part of that good fat that's really helpful. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil. Doesn't take much. We're going to, again, just make it nice and creamy. This is going to be a wonderfully creamy dip. And then my favorite, spike. You all know how I just love spike. 42 different herbs and seasonings. And we're going to put a little bit of spike in here. That's going to, we don't have any salt. That's going to add a little salt and a little of that herby flavor. Now it's going to be loud for just a second, but we're going to put it over here. We're just going to get a nice, wonderful, creamy dip out of this. stir it down a little bit. Now, you can do it a couple different ways. If you like really nice creamy dips, you can make it till it's just about, you know, like meringue. If you like more of a chunkier dip, you can do it chunky. I'm going to make it creamy. Creamy dip, which I'll put in the middle of our platter here in just a second. In fact, I think I used my dip container. We're going to put my parsley. It's going to go in our salad here in a second. But we're going to take this delicious dip and we're going to put it with something special. Now I have over here on my platter, I have some blue corn chips, which y'all are pretty familiar with. I think we see those a lot. But remember, why do I use blue rather than yellow? Anytime we can get extra color, we're going to get extra antioxidant value. So I'm going to put these in the middle, and do you notice these incredible carrots that are all the different colors? Yellow, purple, there's some that are almost brown, blue corn chips, and then I have some almond crackers. They're great new almond crackers. We've had them a couple of times in this class, but they're absolutely delicious. And they're just exceptional with dip. They can really take the dip. This is bok choy. And bok choy, again, is one of those vegetables in that cruciferous family that are so beneficial and strengthening for your immune system. Now, most of the time when you buy bok choy, we've done it a lot in stir fry. We've tried it lots of different ways in things, but people don't think about it as far as being raw, eating it raw. The other day, I was really hungry for something like celery, and I didn't have any celery, and I had a bunch of bok choy, and I thought, I'm going to try bok choy raw. I don't really eat it raw much, maybe in salad, but not just sitting down and eating it raw. And I cut the bok choy just into little strips. You can see I took some of the leaves off, and I just had a lot of fun because the night that I had it, I just kind of stuck it inside my dip. I had a little bowl of dip, and I stuck my bok choy in there, and then I ended up eating almost a whole thing of bok choy, a big bunch of bok choy, because it was so delicious. I saved my leaves and I used those either in salad or in spicy greens or any way you want to use them. They were great, but it's the white part that has that really good chunk, and it's delicious in this green dip. And by the way, if you love this green dip, which so many people have told me, oh my gosh, I just love this green dip, it's one of my favorites you've ever made. I thinned it down with a little more water, a little lemon juice, and a little bit of olive oil, made it a salad dressing. So I had a bunch left over. I also used it on a sandwich, like a sandwich spread, and it was absolutely delicious that way too. So you got kind of a three-way dip you can utilize here, and it's, just delicious. But if you put something like this out and you just put chips around it, everybody will eat it with chips. But if you can find a way to vegetize, and remember how we're trying to make sure we have cruciferous vegetables every single day, this is a super duper easy way to go green with the dip and what's in it. Remember, we vegetize the daylights out of that dip, and everything in there is actually counts. So that could be a wonderful, wonderful way to start your meal. We're going to have some people try it here in just a little bit. While I go back here behind my little island here, I'm going to make a wonderful salad for you. And you know, I never ever don't do a salad. I'm always trying to be sure that I give you a salad, a new, unique, alternative salad that you can use in your repertoire. So I'm talking today about lentils, and I have some green lentils here. These are from Simple Fruit from Kroger, and lentils are really, really easy to cook. They cook in about 20 to 30 minutes, and you just cover them with water, about 2 parts water to the lentils. I've got how to do it on your recipe. And then if you don't feel like cooking them, you don't have that extra time, guess what? You can even buy lentils in the can now. It used to be you never saw lentils in the can, but Simple Truth has them, 10 for 10. And if you want the salad and you don't have time to cook beans, Super simple, take the can, rinse the beans, you got it ready to go. But this lentil salad is unique. Now I started out and I put in here some chopped mint and parsley. I want to tell you, today I brought my first plants to go ahead and put in my planters. My husband says, Jodi, it'll probably snow again, but if I put them in my pots, I can always move them in the garage. But I got basil and I got parsley. That's all that was really available, and some rosemary, which that usually keeps over the winter anyway. But when you can't get the fresh mint out of your garden or out of your pots, you always can buy it in these little containers, and they're reasonably priced. The mint in this salad is really nice with the lentils, so I would really encourage you to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take my lentils and I'm going to pop them in here with my parsley and with my the rest of the ingredients. And we'll grab a spoon here so I can stir it up a little bit. I'm going to just stir my lentils in with the green stuff, the cilantro and the parsley. Now, if you hate cilantro, you can use just parsley if you don't have the gene. I'm also going to add some of those really cool colored carrots that I told you about. I want to remind you that anything that is orange, yellow, red, or dark green leafies has beta-carotene in it. And beta-carotene protects mucous membranes. This coronavirus attacks your lungs. That's all those mucous membranes. A beta-carotene, or anything with the orange, the yellow, or the dark green, is really beneficial to help protect your lungs and all of those mucous membranes and your sinuses, your throat, the whole bit. So these wonderful carrots are awesome, plus they just look so pretty. I'm also going to add, these are some organic grape tomatoes, and I have been getting too, when they have the organic ones, those ones that are all the different colors, because they're really cool too. So we're going to just toss those in. I found at one of my stores that I frequent at Costco, I found organic English cucumbers. Now you can't always find organic English cucumbers. They were a good price. Those are the kind of long cucumbers that don't have hardly any seeds in them. So you don't have to peel them. Of course, they're organic, so we don't have to worry about the peel. But the peel also isn't bitter. It's really nice, and I think it adds extra color and texture. But they call them burpless cucumbers, because people that burp with regular cucumbers don't seem to get that gassiness from English cucumbers. I think they're absolutely delicious. That's the reason I like to buy them, but you don't often find them organic. I do try to grow them in our garden. And I'm going to add some yellow peppers, and what we're going to come up with is just this really beautiful looking salad. I'm going to add just a little bit of onion. And onion, like garlic, has so many immune properties. It is just loaded. It's loaded with vitamin C. Do you know that onions are filled with vitamin C? So I'm going to go ahead and add the onions to it just to give it a little bit of pop of that onion flavor. And to make it a whole meal deal, I am going to add red lentil pasta. Now let me tell you that red lentil pasta, if you can't get any pasta in the stores because they're all out, because I did notice when I was going down the store aisles, most of the pasta was gone. There's this Barilla red lentil pasta, and there's also this what is called Explore Cuisine red lentil pasta, and the only ingredients in here are red lentils. It makes wonderful pasta. You're using lentils for the pasta, so it's kind of like a lentil on lentil, but it has a great flavor, better nutrition by far than white pasta, and I think you'll find that you really like it too. It tastes just delicious. I cooked it just a bit al dente for a salad like this to give it kind of a little bit of oomph to the salad. So I'm stirring that in. And then what I have over here is just some olive oil that's mixed with lemon juice. Before I put that on, I'm going to put just a little bit of spike to add just a little bit of flavor, because I didn't add anything to the lentils. They're just plain. So we're going to put, spike is always my fave. And we're going to put a little spike on there just to give it a little pop. You could also put a little pepper. I'm just going to go with spike tonight, but you could certainly add pepper. And then I did half lemon juice and half olive oil in here. I keep a lot of lemon juice and olive oil in these smaller containers so I can drizzle it over things. We don't need a big, bold dressing on this because the flavors are so nice and they blend so nicely together. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of this on here. And I like to give it just an extra fresh pop of lemon. So I'm going to take my fresh lemon over here and just squeeze it on here. Let me just show you here how pretty this looks when we're, and then just a little bit of fresh lemon just to give it that extra pop. And look at what we have. It's just gorgeous. I'm going to move up closer here so hopefully you can see on Facebook Live. Isn't that pretty? Makes such a pretty salad. Now I'm going to go one step further. And I'm going to go ahead and put my salad on spring greens because we're talking about going green. Everything in this salad has benefit for our immune system. The B vitamins in the lentils, the fiber that helps clean out all the toxins and gets rid of stuff in our system. All of the vegetables have different profiles of nutrients. Lycopene in the tomatoes, beta carotene, vitamin C in the lemon juice. I mean, we have just a whole soup here, really a salad, of nutrients. And I'm going to put it on these beautiful spring greens. And these spring greens also have lots of different nutritional value because they have dandelion greens, they have everything in here. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to top it off. I just think it looks so pretty. And when you serve it with the greens and all the rest on top. And then I've got some pumpkin seeds, some pepitas. And remember that they are loaded with zinc, one of the best sources of zinc that we have. So I'm going to sprinkle the pepitas or the pumpkin seeds on here. And again, I know you might not have every one of these ingredients on hand every single day, but this makes a meal that will literally, for most people, unless you've got a great big family, this is going to last you through a couple of meals. Well, the really cool thing is it will last because it's that kind of salad. So the lentils with the vegetables, they just marinate the vegetables and it ends up being just a beautiful salad that you can use for a couple of days. I have some tongs over here, so I like to serve this one with tongs so if you get in there you can really dig down deep and get the leafies along with the lentils. So you start out, you've got your little appetizer there where you can have some of that wonderful dip and use it a few different ways. One of the things that I would serve with this salad are some muffins. Now, if you know me, I always talk about mini muffins. I like muffins to be small because believe it or not, if you eat all three of these, you eat 3 muffins, it's still not as much as one whole muffin. It's amazing, but you'll feel much more full if you eat the little mini muffins along like with something like the salad, rather than having this great big huge muffin that you feel like you have to finish. So if you haven't gone out and bought a mini muffin tin, go buy one. These muffins that I made to go with it are called Green Bites, and they have bananas, and they have gluten-free flour, and loads of chia seeds, and kiwi, and kale. Believe it or not, I've got 2 cups of kale in these little muffins. And so you've got that extra boost of green. And now, right now, it's really important for us to do this because we're all trying to build up our immune systems. But think about it if you have children or picky husbands. You can sneak that in there and they're not even going to know that it's there. That's where I try to tell people it's perfectly okay to be sneaky, even with ourselves. I mean, I'm going to eat that and I'm going to love it and I wouldn't even notice that kale was in it, even though I made them, because it just blends right in with the flavor and it tastes really good. So we have green kale, we've got all the spring greens, we've got green dip. We are just, again, giving our body everything that it needs to be super, super strong. Now on top of that, I made a dessert. And this dessert are some brownies. Everybody loves brownies, right? We all enjoy having something sweet. But there's some really cool things about these brownies with a hint of green. Yep, you heard me. There's kale in the brownies. I know. Crazy Jodi, you can do kale, you can do spinach. There's also zucchini in the brownies. So you've got zucchini and you've got kale. And then the brownies are made with almond butter. And I do something unique with these brownies. I use oat flour in these. And most of the time, if you try to buy oat flour, it's really pricey. You know, it's like it's super unique and it's really pricey. So what I do is just take oats, put them in the blender, and I mean like rolled oats, it can be minute oats, it could be long cooked oats. I keep a whole bunch of oats on hand. And I just throw them in the blender, and you've got flour. It looks just like this. Takes just a second, doesn't have to be a fancy schmancy blender. In fact, the blender that I often bring with me, just because I'm grabbing it and dropping it and all that kind of thing, is my $15 blender. And it does great. That's what I did this in, so you can see that it makes perfect flour. And I use this in these particular brownies. I also use some things like almond butter. Again, gives it that moist, wonderful, all those almonds that are loaded with nutritional value. Great, great cancer fighters, good source of good fats. Also, instead of using regular chocolate chips, because I did put a few chocolate chips in here, I am a huge fan of Lily's chocolate chips because they are made with stevia and not with sugar. Now they're pricey, so I use them sparingly, but even Kroger has started to carry these Lily's in all the health food stores. I try to watch and see if I can get them on sale or maybe get a coupon. I have done that a couple of times, but you don't have to use many to add that just extra super pop of chocolate. The other thing that I do when I make these brownies is I use an organic cocoa. And I'll usually buy, again, it's going to be more expensive than regular cocoa, but I buy a good sized can whenever it's on sale, and you're just using a small amount when you make good chocolate brownies. But it's the dark chocolate and it's the non-alkalized chocolate that has all the nutritional benefit and those nutrients that come from dark chocolate. So to me, it's worth it to have the really good stuff in there instead of, you know, just doing whatever I happen to have on hand. I also use stevia as the sweetener along with just a little bit of coconut nectar. So sometimes in recipes you have to have something liquid or something granular to make the recipe work. And since these brownies are really nice and they're dense and they're chewy and they're, you know, really moist, the coconut nectar works really well. It's a lower glycemic index, and it's kind of like sorghum and that it has a fair amount of nutrients with it. It's just not very sweet. But in order to make it sweet, I boost it with stevia. Now let me tell you, for those of you that are watching this that live in the Indianapolis area, Georgetown Market has my stevia. This is the one I like. It's the organic sweet leaf, on sale for $5.79. I have never seen it that cheap. I bought like 5 bottles because that is such a deal. I use the vanilla or the English toffee. Both of them are excellent. But I use that to sweeten because it doesn't change your blood sugar, not an iota. It's not going to make your blood sugar go up. It's safe for diabetics. It's bitter if you use too much. So that's why we always want to do something where I love the drops because, see, can you tell that that's a teensy tiny baby dropper? Because you can't take it back once you put it in. So what I try to do is, you know, put some in, taste it, smell it, however you make your determination. And I'd rather have it be not quite sweet enough than overly sweet and bitter. But stevia is a wonderful, wonderful choice. So we have a wonderful meal sitting here, and the only thing left is what should we have to drink with it? Well, I'd make you some tea if you were here, but my husband's favorite green tea is this Mandarin Orange by Lipton. There's lots and lots of green teas, but what we have learned about green tea is it really strengthens the immune system. It really helps with cancer. In fact, I've told the story many times how his oncologist said to me one day, for those of you that don't know, my husband's battling stage 4 melanoma, so this is very real to me, especially the coronavirus. He's doing great, but we want to keep him doing great. He's in that really high risk category. So everything I can do for his immune system, I'm doing. And that includes green tea. So every day we make a gallon of green tea. We use different kinds, and he drinks almost a whole gallon a day. But it was his oncologist that suggested it. He wasn't even interested in anything nutritionally, but he had read about green tea and a couple of studies that were done on several different types of cancer, including melanoma. So this green tea is a little different than a lot of the teas I make where you can put them directly in the cold water. You do have to heat this. So we put on a pan of water, throw in 4 or 5 tea bags of green tea, and then fill the rest up with water and make a gallon. And it's absolutely delicious, and it would go wonderfully well with our green meal. Green tea with going green. So that's what we would be eating tonight if you were here with me, and I hope you would enjoy every bite of it. We'll have some folks try it and they can tell you how deliciously yummy it was. But we're going to come over here to this side, and I want to tell you just about a couple of other things that I put in our ingredients-wise, and then talk about going green as far as cleaning. You know, walnuts and nuts are something that can really add some oomph to our meals. Try whenever you can to keep different nuts on hand. We used to say that almonds were king of the nuts, but now we're talking about walnuts. And just having that extra walnut to, like, say, put in that dip to make it nice and creamy and add all that extra nutrition, all the minerals, selenium and zinc that are in nuts, really, really helpful. I also use the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking mix in our muffins, and that's one that I love and use a lot. Let's see, is there anything else over here I didn't tell you about? Oh, I want to talk, you know, I've had to go a lot of places and I always have to come home. I'm not letting Dan go anywhere because he has to be extra careful. But I, on the other hand, have done the shopping and gone places. And whenever I go out anywhere, I always do my emergency Immune Plus. Little zinc, little vitamin D, some vitamin C in there. And I don't know how many of you heard Dr. Oz when he talked on television, and he told people what they could do to try to strengthen their immune systems and to, you know, to fight whenever they were going out in public, and he mentioned emergency. I was so excited about that. But I keep these in my purse. You can buy them at any of the drugstores. And again, vitamin C, some zinc, put it in water, drink it down, a little bit of vitamin D. And I'm telling everybody, be sure you have your vitamin D level checked so you know where you stand, because vitamin D will definitely strengthen your immune system. I also want to talk about going green as far as cleaning. So many of the chemicals that we use, I could take the whole hour to tell you about different chemicals and how they affect your body. A lot of cleaning chemicals are what we call endocrine disruptors. They interfere with our immune system, our endocrine system, to be able to do what they need to do. And we need to try to think about what we're cleaning with and what we're using in our homes. So I brought some really simple stuff. Hydrogen peroxide will kill just about every virus. Now again, I don't know how many studies there are to see if it kills coronavirus, but you know we use peroxide to clean out wounds, to kill all kinds of things. And you can use peroxide at home, cheap peroxide. I have a mixture that I make up and I keep on hand all the time. And if you write for or if you send in, then we'll send you the recipe. But this cleaner has peroxide, lemon juice, water, and then I put a couple drops of orange oil in there because I like it to smell good. I like my, you know, when I clean something, I like to be able to tell I cleaned it. But I use this for everything because it's a great antiviral, antibacterial. It'll just wipe out bugs and germs and cleans wonderfully well. A lot of you may have these beautiful countertops, like this one is granite, and then there's all the different granite-like countertops. But if you want to shine your countertops as well as kill, use club soda. Believe it or not, it makes things just sparkle and clean. And club soda is like 69 cents. It's really inexpensive. I think that it's really cool that we can find some really inexpensive things to clean with. By the way, vinegar, there is vinegar in the stores. I was at 3 today, so I can tell you. People are not rushing on buying vinegar, and yet vinegar is a wonderful, wonderful cleaner. I think I got paid like 19 cents for this vinegar. It's distilled white vinegar. I don't want you to drink it. I don't want you to use it in salad dressing. I want you to clean with it because it cleans super, super well. You can clean just about anything. You can clean your stovetop. You can clean your windows. You can clean the bathroom. This will get rid of calcium around the faucets. It will get rid of hard water. It will do amazing things. And if any of you have hard water or iron in your water, man, the stuff you have to clean that with is so toxic that it'll make you you can't even breathe when you're using it. But vinegar is nothing. And so what I do is I keep vinegar. We bought these spray bottles at Tractor Supply or one of those. They seem to be bigger and better quality. They last really well. So instead of using them in the barn, which we do clean in the barn even with these kinds of things, I keep these underneath my sink. They're available all the time, and I'm never exposing Dan or myself or the grands to chemicals. And if they go under my sink and they start pulling stuff out, I don't have to worry. They're not going to die from vinegar or hydrogen peroxide like they would from so many of those horrible chemicals. The other thing that I use a lot of is baking soda. When you need something that's caustic, you know, like you need to scrub, baking soda will get off just about anything. You can dissolve it in the water. I mean, there's a million ways to use baking soda, and usually on the box they tell you all the different things that you can use. But if I've got a pan that has something really stuck, I put a little baking soda, put it on the burner and let it bubble up, and I can just get it right off of there, because trust me, I burn things. And more often than probably most, maybe because I cook more. But anyway, baking soda is another huge, so cheap. I buy the big 5 pounds. This is one that just was in the cupboard, but I buy the big 5-pound bags because I can use it in a million different ways. Remember what I told you about how to use baking soda to detox your body? If you put 4 cups of baking soda in your bath, that helps to alkalinize you, and it helps to get rid of ammonia. We do it a lot, you know, for helping patients to detox, especially if they're real toxic after chemo or, you know, treatment. Really, really helpful, and soothing too. Baking soda is very soothing. Let's see, the other thing I was going to tell you, I was trying to think, what is something that I have a really hard time cleaning that I wonder if there's a natural cleaner? And I was thinking about silver. You know, I don't use silver all that often, but I love to do fancy meals, and I have some beautiful silver. But you can't put your silver out if it's totally gray and black and looks awful. And so in order to clean silver, I'm thinking, gosh, that stuff is as toxic as it gets if you've ever tried to clean your silver. So I found out you can use toothpaste. Toothpaste cleans it up beautifully. You just smear it on there, you just take a damp cloth and you wipe it off, and all the tarnish is gone completely. So if you take a little time and you look, you're going to be able to find some really inexpensive, we all have toothpaste on hand. You can spare a little for your silver once every 6 months if you need it. But we can have some really inexpensive ways to clean that aren't toxic, that aren't going to hurt us, and that are going to help us to go green everywhere we look. Because in today's world, we're going to be looking for alternatives to things that we can't get. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight and looking at all of the things. I don't think there's anything I didn't tell you about. And I wish you could try this wonderful salad and our dip and our brownies and our muffins, because they're really delicious. But get the recipes and you try them. They're simple, super, super simple. Remember, mini muffins, not those big old honking things. And my little brownies will be that perfect chocolatey end to a meal. And for those of you that are really watching sugar, because you know sugar really hits your immune system hard, you can have some wonderful chocolatey yummies without all the sugar. So thanks for joining me tonight, and we'll look forward to the coronavirus being over and being able to get together right here at Cancer Support Community, hopefully by next month, if not then the following month.